Good morning, guys. I hope you are having a great day wherever you are. I am finally doing something that I said I've been going to do for ages on my Instagram, and that is do a plant tour. We are going to count them up and probably give me a heart attack in my poor bank account. Something to cry over. So I'm planning on doing like a longer version of this on YouTube and then a shorter version on IGTV. So if you happen to be watching this on IGTV and you want a longer version and to listen to me crap on, head to YouTube. I'll put a swipe up or something somewhere. But yeah, let's get started, I guess. Okay, so let's perhaps start upstairs. I have plants in my bedroom and in my ensuite, so let's start there. Okay, so let's start with my Hoyas because they're my favorite. I will preface this with I have no idea what Hoyas are what, and that's a really bad plant mum, but oh well. So I got this one I've had for a couple of years. And then I've got this big bad boy, which if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw in my story not too long ago. Okay, I'm going to show you the ones from my dresser down here because it's super dusty up there. But this little guy is also a Hoya. I have two of these. One I've got in my little Ikea greenhouse downstairs, and the other one I've got up here because I want to see what the growth difference is. And I think you'll be probably not surprised at the difference, but just, you know. So she is an Indian rope. She's a little dusty as well. I've got to give her a dust. But this is her new growth, so hopefully she shoots up soon and I'll give her something to climb as well. Of course, I have an aloe vera. And this is the only string of pearls I've been able to keep alive. It's a tiny little baby one from Bunnings, but she's grown pretty well in this pot. I only bottom water her, butt chug, for those of you playing along at home. And yeah, she just lives on my dresser. She's super dusty. I don't touch her for fear of killing her. But yeah, and she sits in this cute little hanger that Rach got me. There's a good old snake plant. This guy was living downstairs for the last couple years, but recently moved him upstairs because I just felt like I needed something a little taller here for next to my mirror. So she's cute. Okay, let's move through to my ensuite. So I've got another Hoya. She's adorable. Again, no idea what it's called, but it is growing really well. So I'm thinking about maybe putting some clips around like the top of my shower and see if she'll grow around there. Moving into my shower, and I wish I had more in my shower. I put this little shelf up there so I can put something in there, but I don't know what to put. But I have these. They're super cool. I think they're a bit dead at the top, but that's okay. But they're affectionately called Old Man's Beard. I've had these for quite some time, and I got them I think at the start of ISO, so it started last year, and I got them in the mail, which was pretty cool. They came to me a bit dead, which was a bit sad, but they seem to be doing pretty well in here. Now coming back out of my shower, a little bit of a labour of love. Chain of hearts. They grow really well, but finding the right potting situation has been a bit of a prick. This guy has been amazing. She's nice and long, coming all the way down, and then but this guy has been a bit fly. It's been in maybe 3 different types of pots. I started him off in what's recommended on the internet, and then he didn't like that, so we've been moving around a little bit. But this is in like a cactus mix with some perlite mixed in, so I'm hoping he has a better time. But they are doing really well. I'm super happy with them now. Okay, so so far, all up upstairs, we've got the 2 chain of hearts, that's 1 and 2. We'll count the collection of Old Man's Beard as one whole plant, so that's 3. We've got the Hoya in the ensuite, which is 4. We have the snake plant, 5, the string of pearls, 6, the aloe vera, 7, the Indian rope Hoya, 8, and then the 2 bigger hanging Hoyas, which makes 10 upstairs. I will also mention that I can't remember any of the scientific names for these because my head only stores useless lyrics. That's it. Nothing from uni, just useless lyrics. Of course, another snake plant. Little baby one sits literally in the dark. Hello. Hi, this is Baxter. What are you doing? Are you gonna help me plant tour? Yeah? Yeah? Do I get a kiss? Good boy, good boy. Okay, well, Baxter is apparently gonna help. Are you gonna talk? Do you want to say anything to the people? I'm just gonna put your head in front. Cool, that seems good. All right, let's show the people some plants. Okay, so down here in my lounge room, we have an assortment of plants. Now this window doesn't get like a lot of, it's like indirect light, so nothing particularly important is in this corner. Let's go. Okay, so first up I have these guys. They're little air plants, but they lit. Can you not? So we have these little guys. So I've got a little Doberman thing that found at Bunnings, a bit dusty. One of the little air plants died on it, but that's okay. And then this on what I'm assuming is clear quartz. I don't know. Basic bitch aloe vera. Not a fucking clue what this is. Not a clue. But it's full of water. Oh my god, let me go fix that. Oh my god, I'm such a bad plant mum. That thing was full of water. But it's a Rapsalis. Apparently, I'm probably saying that wrong, but whatever. You ever have those plants that apparently, you know, are super easy to keep, but you just can't figure them out? ZZ plant. Just can't do it. I never water her. She's not getting heaps of light. She's getting in direct sunlight. I know they do well in the dark, but when it was like in a slightly darker spot, she did even worse. Like, this is an improvement. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. A palm that used to be like 4 times the size and I've since killed off. Another snake plant, no surprise there. Okay, so let's do a tally of all the plants since upstairs. So there were 10 upstairs. Then we have the snake plant at the entry, the 2 air plants down here, the thing that I was drowning, the palm that I've half killed off, the ZZ plant that I'm slowly killing, the aloe vera, somehow doing well, and the snake plant. So that's 18. Want to know a secret? I have another snake plant. So over here we have this snake plant that I actually propagated from the one over there that was in the background that I showed you. And then I have this cactus that I lovingly have named Boris. He had a longer name, but I forgot it. I did, however, had to cut the top off him because I think he was rotting, but now he's got these really cute little new growths. Let me show you a little closer. I think he's got one growing on the other side. Oh, blurry. There we go. So now we're at 20 plants officially. Okay, remind me if I forget. Okay, so here is a small mother load. Now, I don't want to say the name of this one because I think it has a slightly offensive name, but she's doing okay. I think she needs a water. She's got some little dead bits in there, but that's okay. And here's a bit that I propagated off her. It was meant to be a gift, but then COVID happened, so now it lives here. I've got this string of bananas, I think it is, that I had to cut off because I killed the entire pot of them. They fall in the same sort of area as string of pearls for me. I just don't know how to keep them alive. And then down here I've got a little spider plant. So fun fact with this one, I stole it from a neighbor's front yard, and I stole like 5 or 6 and propagated them, and this is the only one that's lived. Even now I don't think he's doing that well, so that's fun for me. In the back we have yet another Hoya, my love, and if I change angles real quick, you will notice that he is growing up, and now he's off behind. I think he might be making a break for the window. Okay, so back up to the top shelf. We have this guy, which I love. Now, I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation. It should be easy, but for me, I get nervous about this sort of stuff. Peperomia? I'm not really sure, but it's my biggest one and I love him so much. And here we have, I think it might be my oldest Hoya, my first one ever. She's doing well. I've recently repotted her in this little guy, which is the same pot as what I have upstairs with one of my chain of hearts, which I think is really cool because you could put water in the bottom. It keeps it hydrated. So that I think is pretty fun, just from Bunnings. And again, if I change angles, you'll notice he has some big viney boys, which I love. Just super long. He's got two. He was originally on this shelf and he climbed all the way up here, and I had him all the way around there, but the question sort of rose, what the hell am I going to do with this with such long vines? So I've unhooked him and I'm letting him hang in the hopes that he will produce some leaves soon. Okay, back to the tally. So we're at 20 after the cactus and snake plants. So we have the spider plant, which I think I might have called snake plant accidentally, the little one. We have the offensive name big one, the offensive name little one, the string of bananas that are dying. We have the Hoya on the bottom shelf. We have the peperomia on the top shelf, that's 26. And we have the other Hoya with the long vines, which puts us at 27 plants. Oh, and I missed one. There's a tiny little cactus, which I'm slowly killing. Hold on. There he is. Moving on to my dining room table. Okay, let's start with this palm. She is beautiful. She's a little crispy, I will admit, but I overwatered that other palm and killed her, so I'm just playing it safe with this guy. Okay, for those of you on Instagram, you will be familiar with this guy. Labor of love. So it's a dragon plant, or a dragon tail plant I should say, and I've mounted it, or tried to mount it, on a moss pole. I've just noticed a fungus gnat. That's really fun. Well, if you see that, just pretend you haven't seen it. So I don't know what to do with this guy though. So this is the bulk of the main plant, and this is the little cutting that I took off it, and now I've broken a leaf, which is really fun. But I don't know if I should cut this guy off, because ideally he would be growing up the moss pole, but because he's been sitting in a pot for so long, he's only learnt how to grow out, so I'm not sure whether I should chop this. Bexy boy, you're so cute. So now we're on the other side of where we were. We've got that palm, we've got the moss pole with the dragon tail plant, and here we have one of my newer additions. It's the final Hoya that I hope I will be buying unless I find something super rare, but she's beautiful. She's got nice splashes on her, she's got a lot of vines coming off, and hopefully she will grow quite beautifully. I need to get something for her to climb though. And here we have another peperomia, whichever you want to call it. I can't tell if she's doing well or not. I've rotated her today, but I love her. Then we have this guy. It was so full and so lush when I bought it, and now it can go get fucked. Okay, so I think with that cactus in the shelves, we were on 28. So the palm makes it 29, the dragon tail and the moss pole makes it 30, the new Hoya makes it 31, the peperomia makes it 32, and the dying string of pearls 33. Okay, and now we're moving through to one of my favorite parts of my house. Actually, before we get there, can someone tell me what the fuck this thing is? I've half killed it a few times, but I have no idea what she is. But that makes it 34, I think. Okay, so we are at my Ikea greenhouse. Hold on, 1 second. Now that's better. So on top of her, we have the top of that cactus that I chopped off that I'm 90% sure is dying. But that's okay, I'm not really fast. And then we have a begonia that I have no idea how to take care of, and it looks half dead all the time, but we needed a bit of colour and it was a cute present, so I'm persevering. And moving into this guy, let's have a look inside. And let's open her up. All right, so we are sitting at 79% humidity. We are 18.8 degrees. We have a little fan down here and a humidifier for when I need to add more humidity, but I very rarely do, which is pretty good. Okay, so starting at the top, we have more of that old man's beard. I'm not sure this is quite the right place for it personally. I think I'm probably going to move it, but for now, I think it looks cool and it fills space. Then I have some Chain of Hearts cuttings that I took because I want to fill out some of those pots. And they are growing really, really well. I'm super happy with them. They're currently sitting in a mix of perlite and horticultural charcoal, which they seem to be really enjoying, which is nice. In the back there, you'll notice this guy, and I know it's a bit hard to tell with the pink lights, but there we go, that makes it a little easier. So I've got a bamboo growing in here, which if I come down to the bottom, he's in a glass jar back there, which I find helps keep the humidity in here up a little bit, because if things start to dry out, it kind of just draws from that little glass of water. Coming back up, and in the back, under this guy, I've got a little Hoya. Again, I have no idea what he's called, but his vine is very long. So you'll notice it wraps up and behind, and then, it ducks in behind this guy. She is starting to put out some new leaves, which I quite like. I'm very happy with. Then here we have, again, I think it's called a peperomia, but it's different to the other ones. I'm probably saying it wrong and butchering what it is, but oh well. This guy, I don't know, he goes through bouts of doing really well and then looking like he's gonna die. So he does seem to like it in here. Okay, what are you doing? You're not meant to be on till midnight. Here I have, this has been a wish list item for quite some time, and I've had her for about a month now. She is an alocasia, velvet, black velvet, or kind of black velvet alocasia. She's super pretty and I love her very much, and she, since being in here, although I was told they don't like humidity, and I will say I think since getting her, the edges of her leaves have firmed up a little bit, but they are just the older leaves, so I assume that's kind of okay. But she's been putting out a new shoot a week, so I beg to differ. I think she does like it in here, but I'll check on the soil periodically just to make sure it's happy and not getting waterlogged or anything. But I have got it in an orchid care outer pot, so she's still in her nursery pot inside, but this is an orchid pot, so it's got little sort of props. So the pot actually sits, the nursery pot sits about here, so water can drain into there and not affect the actual plant if there's water sitting in there. Okay, here we have this guy. I think it's an alocasia, I don't know. I just saw it, it was cool. But fun/depressing story about this is I got it from Bunnings, and at the time there was that and another one, which I was like, oh, I don't know which one, is better. And because Bunnings don't label these sorts of things very well, I didn't know what they were, and I'm very new to alocasias and these sorts of plants. So I was like, oh, I'll just take this one, there's less of this one there. Turns out the other one was a really rare one, and I went back the next day and it was not there, and it's safe to say I wanted to die. But that's okay. I've been on the hunt ever since, and if worse comes to worse, I will just order off the internet. I did find a reasonably priced one somewhere, so fingers crossed. You remember upstairs I showed you one of these little guys. Now, well, can you please focus? Maybe I'll put her down. There we go. Okay, so the other one has had about half the growth, and this guy, because of this grow light up the top, which I think is way too high powered for this, but that's okay, this guy's been reaching up for it. I'm so happy. Okay, and moving down to the bottom, we have another peperomia. So this guy in the middle are some Hoya cuttings I took. I don't think they're going to survive very well, because I think I needed ideally to only have one, and I cut this one into two because I was half asleep when I did it, so don't try and propagate when you're half asleep. And here I have, I think it actually is another peperomia. I got it from Ikea, and it's been the slowest growing little guy in the entire world, but she is putting out new viney boys and new leaves. Not that you can see, I don't know why this is so unfocused, but that's okay. But yeah, she seems to be enjoying it in the greenhouse, so I'm really happy. And now this guy who's looking a little flat, I'll give him a water today. Okay, whatever. This is actually a carnivorous plant, so they trap fungus gnats and other things in there. Okay, I'm going to be honest, my work phone rang and now I have no idea what I was saying, but I think I was talking about the carnivorous plant. It really likes wasps apparently. Unfortunately, there is not a high percentage of wasps in my indoor greenhouse. So yeah, let's do a full tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Forgot one. We'll call that 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, the one that's drowning on the counter, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Well, if you made it this long, thank you so much for joining me on my adventures of how long will it take Crystal to drown or overlove or underlove any of her given plants. Not gonna lie, both surprised and not surprised at how many plants I have. Part of me was prepared to find more, and part of me is a little shocked at how many I've been able to keep alive. And also, just to note, outside I also have an orange tree, a lemon tree, an olive tree, and a raspberry plant growing, and some chives that have been growing just randomly for the last 10 years that I would never eat, but they're just there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I don't know how high quality this video is gonna be. We'll soon see when we edit. But these do take a while to film, and then even longer to edit, you know, somewhat nicely. So any sort of comment or like or save or share, as long as you're not sharing to bag me out. Actually, you know what? Even if like you're sharing to be like, is she a man? That's gonna boost my engagement, so I'm okay with that. But I hope you guys have a great week. Actually, it's weekend for me now, but by the time I get this up, it'll probably be next month. But yeah, have a good one.